can see behind, there's a large video screen, and now we'll take a look at a special video tribute that's been produced by TSN.
Could this be the day for Greg Moore and the players team from Canada? I don't think Michael has enough time. Moore thinks he has it won with his fist in the air. He takes the checkered flag and resets the record as youngest winner of a PPG Kart World Series event.
Paul did a great job, carrying the torch into IndyCar. Jacques did, and he left. He's carrying it to Formula One. And, hopefully you can get some young kids in go-karting and in Formula Ford and stuff saying, well, I want to be the next Greg Moore.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to TSN's tribute to Greg Moore, a show which we hope will celebrate his life and provide some comfort to those who were close to Greg and to those who admired him from afar. And it was a life filled with extraordinary moments packed into 24 short years, years that ended all too soon, Sunday afternoon in Fontana, California.
Flags at Fontana were immediately lowered. The race continued, and then, as you might expect, other drivers were devastated when told of Greg Moore's death.
It's so hard because Greg was such a good friend of ours. We've been racing for a while, and we have shared so many good moments inside and outside the racetrack. And this is a tragedy for all of us.
Bob came on the radio and said, I have a very bad news to tell you. And I had no idea. And no idea. And, it's no idea.
It's really bad, really bad. It's happened again this year. Greg was a great guy, I'm pretty sure for his family and everything, he didn't deserve to die.
He was just a great young man and had a great future ahead of him, and already had achieved quite a few things in a very short period of time. And I hate this sport when it's like this.
Monday, tributes continued to pour in, including that of Cart president and CEO Andrew Craig.
I think he was a very open individual, he was a great athlete, but very open, very friendly, very approachable. Just plain well good to be with. I think everybody liked Greg and liked spending time with him. And you're right, he's built up a lot of very, very close friendships among the other drivers. He was a member of what's become known as the Kart Rat Pack, a group of young, talented race car drivers who like to race hard on the track, but then enjoy each other's company off the track. Our original thinking had been to cancel the awards banquet tonight in the same way that we cancelled all of the ceremonies after the race. But when I went to see Rick and the rest of Greg's family at the hospital in Linda Loma, Rick was very much of the view that this would have been Greg's wish, that we should continue with the banquet. We've obviously made a fair number of changes to what we're going to do tonight and how we're going to do it, because obviously we think it's important we should recognize and respect the memory of Greg first and foremost.
It helped, other Canadian drivers to think that it was a possibility that someday, we can reach the kart level. And in that perspective, I think just because Greg was really good on the track, it helped all the Canadian driver overall.
The family of Greg Moore spent all day Monday at their home in Maple Ridge dealing with their loss. Late in the day, Greg's father, Rick Moore, gave this written statement. Our entire family is overwhelmed by this tragedy. Losing a child is never easy, no matter what their age. However, we are equally overwhelmed by the genuine kindness and compassion of all those who are sharing this very personal loss with us. Greg touched many lives here at home and throughout the racing world, and I want everyone to know just how much their thoughts and prayers mean to us during this very difficult time. To know that your son was respected and admired by so many means a great deal to us. A private service is now planned for Wednesday in Vancouver for family and close friends.
As you can imagine, this is completely a tragedy for them.
And how are they holding it?
I think, this is going to take some time to get through this. No question, if Greg was as much as part of our family, you can imagine how he is with his own.
The entire town of Maple Ridge also dealt with the loss and sadness of this tragedy on Monday. At his father's car dealership, they have built a shrine. All day, there was a steady stream of friends and fans who brought flowers to pay their respects. Friends like Rob Scheiman, who knew Greg for years and is now only left with his memory.
He was a terrific, terrific person. He was very kind-hearted. He loved the people. He loved his fans. He would write every autograph there was till there was nobody else left. He was just a very special person.
Less than a mile down the road is the high school where Greg Moore graduated only 6 years ago.
Well, I was talking to his math teacher just now, and the best memory we have is he's a quiet lad, he says, and he did very well in school, unassuming fellow, very excellent role model for the students here.
The students at Pitt Meadows Secondary paid their respects in their own way by placing a wreath around Greg Moore's 1993 graduation picture.
We've had announcements and everything. Everybody's upset about it because, I mean, he was like one of the only people that's come from Pitt Meadows that's done anything like spectacular or anything, so everybody's upset about it.
For many, it is here where Greg Moore will be remembered, because it's here on the racetrack where his light shone brightest and he reminded all Canadians of what is possible.
Who knows why the sports bug bites? For some it's hockey, others baseball, football, maybe tennis, swimming. But for Greg Moore, the call to go racing came very early.
Started racing go-karts for fun, and I'd had my Can-Am car in my garage, and when he was a kid, he used to go out there and sit there and make funny little car noises.
And I'd watched him drive, around Westwood, my local track here, and gone to a couple of his races in the States, and, I decided that I wanted to try something like it. And
he got into go-karts, won his first go-kart race.
I was 9.5 years old, or somewhere right around there.
The next year, decided that he would want to run not a professional series, but a very competitive series. And
once I started winning a lot, then I started to realize, well, maybe, I have some national talent or something like that.
So he made a commitment to then that go-kart racing wouldn't be fun, that he had to work at it, and he'd go out and just drive around, and, he worked very hard at it.
So I went to the national level and started winning there. And, then once we'd won a couple nationals, North American championships, we made the decision to go to cars.
At that, we decided that perhaps he had a future in it, and we started out racing 1600, thought we'd be there a couple of years, and he did so well, and we moved up to 2-liter and thought, well, we'll definitely be here for 2 years, and then he won the championship in his first year, and took the opportunity to move out into Indy Lights.
To say the least, Moore's move to Indy Lights was, in a single word, spectacular. 9th as a rookie in 1993, 3 wins and 3rd in points in 94, and in 1995, the championship, and a record 10 wins in 12 races.
It was quite the year. Now, in racing, like all sports, moving from the minors to the majors never guarantees success, especially when you are a 21-year-old rookie, the youngest ever to get a full-time ride in the show. But those with the keen eye predicted big things for Greg when he joined the kart series in 1996. This wasn't just another driver to be stuck in the chorus line of racing. This was a driver destined to be a star.
Only 22 starts in Moore's resume. Could this be the day for Greg Moore and the players team from Canada? I don't think Michael has enough time. Moore thinks he hasn't won, and with his fist in the air, he takes the checkered flag and resets the record as youngest winner of a PPG Kart World Series event. They will have a celebration tonight. What a breakthrough for the Canadian Greg Moore. On to the strand. How much throttle can... And Gugelman slows. Blundell bursts into the lead as his teammate slows out of fuel. And now Greg Moore has a decision to make. I could have passed him for second. Can I pass him for my second consecutive lead? Bruce McCaw and the team looking on. It's all in the hands of Mark Blundell. Blundell, 2 corners to go. Blundell in the middle of the racetrack. Defensive position. Michael Andretti doing the same in what is now 3rd place. And Blundell slows. Moore is in the lead. Blundell is out of fuel. And it has all come apart for the PacWest teammates. Victory. 2nd straight win for Greg Moore.
And that, of course, was just in his 2nd year of kart racing. For today's driver, racing is so much more than just the time spent on the track. Greg Moore knew that. He had commitments to his team, his sponsors, the media, and the fans, and he met them all. Like the time in Milwaukee, as the story goes, when he borrowed a quarter to use a phone booth to meet a radio interview. No request seemed too much. And when he raced in Canada, the requests came almost 24 hours a day.
Greg Moore is only 22 years old and finds himself in the spotlight more than ever before. He comes to the Molson Indy in Toronto, a two-time kart race winner, and is second in the driver's standings behind fellow Canadian Paul Tracy. The demands that come with such success are very, very high, especially when you're set to race in front of your home crowd in Toronto.
Things are going all right. You know, we just had a good little press conference there, and a good Cajun chicken breast lunch. Got me started for the rest of the day, 12:30, and off to Nathan Phillips Square to do some autographs now. We'll go up through here, around.
Year for you. Why has it been so special? What's been the turnaround, the difference?
I mean, it's just a lot of things. You know, it's my second year, and we probably should have won a race last year, but we didn't.
Hall as they kick off the Molson Indy, which runs this Sunday.
Guys, we'll be signing autographs over there. I'm sorry, because if I do it now, I got to do it for everybody.
Now,
how are you, sir?
Can I need 2 minutes before you go up. You take a tuning over there. We have time right here.
Thanks.
How are you? Hi, Mark. Good, thanks. How you doing?
Good, busy.
You know, it's just spin them around and stand them up.
Thanks. It's good to be back in Canada. It's you know, you guys have supported me so well ever since I joined Indy Lights in 1993, but it's been a pretty good season for me so far. There you go, sweetie. Hey, Frank, where are we going? As far as the way the season's gone, we won a couple races, and you know, I think that we're going to be okay. Thanks. How are you? Good. There you go. Hi. One for you. For you. There you go, Dad. Oh, I'm winding down. I am getting to be done. I've got a couple more things to do. We've got to go to Much Music, do a thing for about half an hour now. Or whatever, any hip is good.
What we got to talk about is maybe some of the similarities between the sport of racing and rock and roll, because there are some.
Yep, we're a traveling road show. We're a traveling road show. You know,
it's flashy.
It's flashy. There's a lot of money involved, and a lot of egos involved too. Well, busy day today. Long day. Up at 6:30. A lot of interviews. 600 autographs. And it's just the start of my week. I don't get in the car until Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, more of this. So thanks for following me along today, and I'll see you guys this race weekend.
Yeah, there are a lot of egos in the sport of auto racing, but Greg Moore rarely showed, if ever, his ego. Now, those who had predicted racing greatness were starting to say, "I told you so." There were overtures from Formula One, but Greg maintained he wanted a kart title before he ventured into F1. 1998 marked his third year in the series.
1998 started with promise. 4 podiums in the first 6 races, including a spectacular win at Rio de Janeiro.
The run to the checkered flag. Greg Moore is going to take his first win of the 1998 season. A brilliantly driven race.
And possibly Moore's biggest career win in Michigan and the US 500.
Greg Moore draws to a couple of car lengths away, and he will win the US 500.
Moore finished a disappointing 5th in the championship, but again started 1999 with optimism and a win at Homestead.
Here comes Greg Moore. The checkered flag is awaiting the Canadian, and he wins the opening round of the 1999 championship.